Hello everyone, I'm Wang Jianya from the Department of Industrial Design at Shangdong University. Starting today, I will bring you a new course called Everyone Loves Design. So, why does everyone love design? Some students may argue with me and say, "Teacher, when we were in high school, English teachers said English was the most important. Everyone is learning English. Math teachers said math is the most important. So if your major is design, then you say everyone loves design. If you study materials, would you say everyone loves materials?" I think I need to speak with facts. Let me give you an example. Now we are going out to buy a dress. What do you value most? Some students will say, "Teacher, what I value most is the color, the style, the pattern." Are all these things related to design? Some students will say, "Teacher, I just have no money, so I think the price is most important. I go to the street to see which is the cheapest, and then I buy that one." In fact, the price is also part of the design. Before many clothes are put on the market, we should first consider how much the price should be, and then according to this positioning, make its pattern, color, and style. Then, some students would say, "Teacher, we don't buy clothes today. Let's go to the street to see which house is good, and then buy it." What factors should I consider first when buying a house? The first may be its location. The geographical location is very important. Which lot do you buy? Is it in a good school district? Second, maybe the environmental planning of that community is important. Is it situated near the hills and beside rivers? The third thing to consider is whether the layout of the whole room is reasonable. Are these also related to design? We say that the geographical location may be related to urban planning and design, and the environment of the community may be related to architectural design. The layout and space of the whole community are closely related to the building. The space design inside the community may also be related to the interior design afterwards. So these are all related to design. Then today, we will not buy a house or clothes anymore. Let's buy a mobile phone. What do you think about first? Why buy a mobile phone? What is the main reason for you to choose this phone? First, form. I want my phone to look good. Second, price. The price of the phone should be moderate and meet my psychological expectations. Third, function. Is the function powerful enough, including its storage, its screen size? All of these things are probably important. After thinking about it for a long time, you have no reason and say, "Teacher, I want an iPhone. An iPhone is fine. I don't want to consider other factors. As long as it's an iPhone, everything else is enough for me." So why does everyone like iPhones? Why does everyone like Apple's phone? More importantly, we have to see that in Apple's design team, design plays a very important role. As reviewed by the media in the post-Jobs era, Ivy, Vice President of Industrial Design, ranked third among Apple's 9 Tiger generals. He ranked 5 stars in importance, second only to Cook and Foster. So we say that in July 2015, Ivy was appointed as the first CDO of Apple, which is what we call the Chief Design Officer. And he continued to maximize the power of industrial design in his new position. So we see that in Apple, design has been playing a very important role. And this is a very important reason why people like Apple. Boys like Apple. They may prefer its interactive interface and some of its functions. Girls like Apple only because they say, "Teacher, I think this is Apple." Then she likes it enough. "I think it looks good. That's enough." Even if she only used 10 or 15% of Apple's many functions, as long as the phone in my hand is an iPhone, then I have already got the psychological satisfaction. So maybe when girls choose products, her attention to design will be higher. And in many places, we can also see that, specifically for women, there are many designs. For example, the next picture. This is specifically designed for iPhones. An iPhone case. On this shell, there is a special function designed specifically for women. What is it? An anti-predator sprayer. In other words, it's usually just on the phone case, and you cannot see some of its other functions. But in times of need, when attacked by some perverts, women can easily take out the phone case and spray some pepper spray or the like to drive the pervert away. Next, we will see another design. I think this design is very intimate because we know that females are indeed a very rare creature worthy of protection. They are versatile. For example, they often wear high heels and then run very fast on the road. But designers don't think so. Designers think this is too unfair to women. So they designed a pair of shoes for women that can match different heel heights. According to how high heels you need to wear, you can remove the heels at any time and install new heels. So here we are. We say that women love design more than men. Besides women, who else loves design? We say babies also love design. For example, look at this design. It is specifically designed for the baby. A pacifier that monitors body temperature changes. Why use the pacifier? Because the baby usually needs to put the pacifier in his mouth. And so he has a certain dependence on the pacifier. Then why make it color changing like this? Because sometimes when the baby has a fever, when he's not feeling well, he does not have the ability to say it. He may cry when he starts to have a fever, and when the fever reaches a certain level, he won't even cry. In this kind of situation, how do we find that he has a fever? So you will find that this designer is very interesting. It is a young student from China who did such a design. He applied this special kind of material to the pacifier. Of course, this is a conceptual design, because in fact, in a very small temperature range, to change this color from blue to red is still very difficult. On CCTV, I saw a program. There was also an inventor who wanted to invent a color-changing fabric for children. After a lot of experience, he finally succeeded. It is said that this clothing is light blue when the temperature is 36 degrees to 37 degrees. Then, when the temperature is 38 degrees to 39 degrees, it becomes dark blue. This change in color is very small. So how to design it as a small piece of clothing that can be worn by children to monitor body temperature? Do you have any good ideas? After a lot of experiments, he did find this possibility. My advice to him is that this fabric must not be made into the whole clothes, because the change in color level from light blue to dark blue is too small. Unless someone is particularly sensitive to color, it is very difficult to pay attention to this. So what to do? You can make it into a part. Make it into a part, make it into a pattern, make it into a device, so that children can intuitively show the color changes and contrasts. The whole clothes are made of ordinary fabrics, and the patterns in the clothes are made with this special color-changing fabric. So what pattern does this color-changing fabric make that can most attract parents' attention? My plan is to make 4 words on the clothes. I have a fever. As long as you have a fever, these words will emerge, and you will not see them when you have no fever. So I think these are some designs for children. Of course, there are many similar designs, such as this picture. This is a milk bottle specially designed for children. A feeding bottle designed for children. Notice this bottle, everyone. It is designed as a tumbler. What's the benefit of doing so? Maybe the baby will use this bottle as a toy. Maybe. But I think the more important function of it is that it can, when your bottle is normally on the table, it can maintain an upright state. It is not easy to pour. It is not easy to spill the milk. And the nipple piece won't easily touch the table or some other contaminated surface. So these are all designed for children. Therefore, we say that babies also love design. In addition to these people, who else will be cared for by design? We will also consider people with disabilities, who often become an object of concern to designers. For example, in this picture, this is a work that won the Red Dot Award. The designer specifically designed a mechanism for wheelchair users, which can transfer them to beds. He skillfully used the patient's center of gravity, because we know that to transfer the patient, a paralyzed patient, to the bed needs a lot of physical strength. Using this device, he skillfully used the patient's center of gravity. Then, a woman, a young nurse, can easily put the patient on such a stand and transfer him to the bed. So this design is a design that can reflect love. We also say that in addition to these, there are some designs specifically for construction workers and people on construction sites. This is a work of a student from NTUST. It's interesting to note that, where is it? Everyone look here. He made a warning device for falling objects. We know the current practice on the construction site is to draw a circle with some warning tapes. But note that sometimes the tower crane needs to be moved. Then, at this time, we can only circle another warning under it. Then, how to solve this problem? We will find that the designer is very clever. He does the opposite. Install a projection device on the top of the tower crane, so you can project a red warning circle on the ground where the two cranes are. It is dangerous in this circle. It is safe beyond this circle. Does it sound familiar to everyone here? What comes to your mind? I'm reminded of the story of the Monkey King Thrice Beats. Sun Wukong also drew a circle on the ground, but the inside of that circle is safe and the outside is dangerous. I think the most ingenious part of this tower crane is that the higher the tower crane is, the larger the range of possible falling objects. At the same time, the area of this projection will be larger. I think the point of this design is where it's most successful. Moreover, in addition to these special groups, design is actually closely related to our lives. Sometimes all aspects of our lives are related to design. What we see below is a work that we all encounter in our lives. A Band-Aid. So what are the problems with Band-Aids in use? What are the inconveniences of Band-Aids in use? We know that most kinds of Band-Aids are long strips. It is generally more suitable for cylindrical shapes, such as fingers, just a cylindrical wound. And the back of the hand and the arm are okay. However, sometimes our injured parts cannot completely conform to the design of the Band-Aid. So sometimes, what if my fingertip is broken? Then, this time you will find this design very interesting. It makes a very simple change by making a few cuts like this on the Band-Aid. And then, when these cuts are finished, according to your different wound shapes, it can be bandaged again. I think the design is very cleverly done. In addition to humans, in fact, pets also receive a lot of this kind of care from design. I took this picture inside a park in America. What do you guys see here? This is specifically for pets to defecate, a waste bag storage point. That is to say, when you come out to walk the dog in the park, your dog accidentally poops on the ground. What to do at this time? You do not have any other tools, so you will find a device next to the park where you can take some convenient bags to dispose of the poop. We say even dogs get some love from design. So what exactly is design? Speaking of which, I think one sentence we often say is that design makes life better. What is better? I understand it as two aspects. First is more beautiful. Second is better. What is more beautiful? Look at this picture, everyone. What's this one? It's a brush for the walls. But how is it different from a regular brush? Because this brush itself has some patterns. That is, after you dip this brush in paint, what you paint on the wall and on your wallpaper are some patterns, like forests and paths. How much is such a design worth? How much would you pay for this brush? If you buy it online, this brush only sells for 12 yuan. It's simple. A few bucks or so will make your life more beautiful. So, what is better? Look at this example. What is this? As you can see, when we send a letter, we will put a label on the envelope. When we take out the letters and the contents of the envelope, we often drop this label. But how to keep your personal information from being compromised? There are many designers who think of many ways. I think this design is very clever. In the upper left corner of the envelope label, in the upper left corner, it is made in such a way that when you open it, when your envelope is used up, you can directly peel it off and all your personal information, like a shredder, will be shredded. So it brings a lot of convenience to life. That is what we say, design makes life better. Just as we ordinary people have many close ties with design and life, the country and the government also love design. In 2010, the Ministries of Industry and Information, Education, Science and Technology, Finance, Human Resources, and more than a dozen other ministries jointly issued a document. And this document is called Several Guiding Opinions on Promoting Industrial Design Development. In this document, a number of concrete measures are proposed to help China improve the level of industrial design. And besides China, abroad, there are also many policies in this regard. In the US also proposes, through innovative design, to strengthen the country's economic position. Then, Japan also develops innovative design as a basic national policy. So we can see that in both the US and Japan, there are a lot of related companies benefiting from this. In addition to such large economies, there are a number of Nordic countries. We know that the Nordic countries are countries with very developed designs in the whole world. we will find that these countries are very important to design. And they also attach great importance to design, including the Netherlands, Finland, Sweden, Denmark, and other countries. They have their own local excellent designers and design works for a better social environment, making many contributions. Therefore, we say that from the national level to the individual level, everyone has a lot of love for design. So we summarize what we said earlier. Men love design, women love design, kids love design, the elderly love design. Everyone loves design. Even the governments and the countries have issued many design-related policies. So we think the proposition that everyone loves design is true.